What's up, everybody, and welcome to episode 103 of the Chumpcast. We had a short week this time around, so Mark and I crammed an episode into our schedule and made sure to watch the latest Netflix alien thriller, Extinction, starring Michael Pena and Lizzy Caplan. We also talk about all of your newest streaming options for the month of August and a few of the newest movie and TV trailers. Apropos of nothing, we want to hear about the most uncomfortable movie that you've ever had to watch with your parents, or grandparents, or a nun, or whatever else. You can find us on all social media platforms at the Chumpcast. You can also call or text us at 847-920-6107. If you leave us a good enough voicemail, you might hear yourself on a future episode. If you want to support the show, you can find our merch at thechumpcast.com. We always appreciate kind reviews, subscriptions, and ratings on Apple Podcasts. You can also shop on Amazon through our affiliate link at thechumpcast.com/Amazon. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go watch the Venom trailer for the 400th time. Jesus, I feel like we've been doing this for hours already.
Oh my God, this whole YouTube thing, I don't know if we're going to cut this.
It's such a pain in the ass to have people look at you. I just want people to hear me.
I know. Well, that's why we podcast. But YouTube is fun. It's still.
This was your dumbass idea.
Yeah, I know.
Hey, man, we got to get a YouTube presence. Fuck you, Mark.
And now there's no backing out.
I can totally back out. I back out right now.
No, you can't.
Whatever.
You're like, I'm backing out. By the way, you just wrote like an hour page long article on the Venom trailer that just dropped. Yes.
It's actually kind of scary how little time that took me to write.
I know.
It made me reevaluate a few things.
I know, and I'm jealous watching you type because I don't chicken finger. I use two fingers. Well, I guess you can call it chicken fingering. I basically use 4 total fingers to type.
Are you serious?
I'm serious.
Dude, I'm going to get you Mavis Beacon for your birthday.
I need to just sit down one weekend, just not go out, and relearn how to type.
I don't think I know anybody under the age of 50 that does that.
Dude, it's pretty bad. Well, it's not bad because I've gotten pretty quick with it. I'm sure I'm maybe an average, below average typer. Compared to you, you probably type way more words per second or per minute or whatever they do the whole typing shit by. But I still need to relearn how to type because I could type so much faster if I just sat down and just figured out how to use all 4 of my fingers or 5.
I'm blown away right now. Seriously, I'm speechless.
I know.
How many hours a day do you spend at a computer?
7.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, have fun editing that video.
Well, for being in Excel, you're not using a mouse and you're using Shift, Alt, and then your arrows most of the time for the majority of the stuff you're doing. But that is no excuse not to learn how to type.
Yeah, seriously. You need one of those dragon dictation things. I worked with an old guy once. I don't know. He's probably like 60. He had one of those stupid things. The microphone thing, and he would yell into it and would never understand what he was saying because he had a mush mouth. He was an old dickhead. Fuck that guy. But he would scream into this thing, and we're in an office, and we're all in cubes, and he's got his door closed, but he doesn't realize that everybody can still hear everything that he's saying. I hated that guy. He also cut his fingernails at work.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, it is.
Did he cut his toenails too?
I don't know. I tried not to look.
Ooh. Yeah, maybe for Christmas you can get me some
Mavis Beacon
learning software or something.
Mavis Beacon teaches typing.
Cool. So what'd you do this weekend? You don't remember, you fucking alcoholic.
No, well, Friday we had E-Man over here.
Yeah.
And then Saturday I went to a cookout.
Shout out to E-Man. Thanks for coming by. He actually stuck around and talked to us longer than we actually had shown live on the podcast. We had some good conversation.
Do you feel weird? I mean, it's only been a few days since we were recording the last episode. We're recording this on a Tuesday.
Yeah,
because I'm leaving town. Rick is out, and this weekend is Lollapalooza, so you're going to be swamped all weekend.
Feels like the good old times besides the fact that we're recording on Tuesday, but it's just me and you recording, which we don't do too often, and for very good reasons if you go listen to some of our older episodes.
Do you want to talk about Westworld some more?
Oh, let me just put on this tinfoil hat and stick my thumb up my butthole.
So Lollapalooza, though, are you going all, 5 days now?
I'm not going any days, I don't think.
Really? You just going to do after shows?
My buddy at Red Bull, TJ, couldn't get me a free ticket, so fuck you,
so
TJ.
It's his fault that you're not going.
Honestly, I went to Lolla for the first time last year. I went for, I think, only one day. I've never been the Lala guy. I enjoy going to festivals, whatever music kind of festivals, either like, I know we have North Coast, Spring Awakening. Those are all fun, but I was never that guy that needed to go to all the days of Lollapalooza. But I did go last year. It was fun.
Dude, that shit is
I'm not
work.
Gonna pay for it. Yeah.
It's a long day.
It's a long weekend because for the most part, people that go to Lala will go for 3 days in a row or 4 days.
And do LSD the entire time.
Jeez. But I'm actually trying to go Friday because I want to go see Greta Van Fleet. They're playing. They were my best man or recommendation or something one of the weeks. But these kids are unreal. And by kids, I mean pretty much kids. They're all like 21 to 25-year-old kids. And they just shred gnarly socks. They pretty much sound like Led Zeppelin is what everyone refers to them as.
They sound exactly like Led Zeppelin.
Modern day Led Zeppelin. It's mainly, I'll give it to him. The guitarist is awesome. The drummer's awesome. Everything is awesome about the band, but it's mainly because their lead singer is out of this world. He sounds just like Robert Plant. But hopefully I can get a ticket for Friday because I want to go see them.
All right. Well, speaking of drugs, we had our listener submissions from last week.
Why speaking of drugs?
You're talking about Lollapalooza.
Oh, yeah.
That's drugs embodied.
Good point.
Last week, we found out that Ryan Reynolds' Stoned Alone reimagining was being made. And it's basically Home Alone for a pothead weed grower. So in honor of that, we wanted to hear your submissions for your childhood favorite movies that deserved a stoner remake. We had a lot of good submissions, and honestly, the shittier and cornier the pun was, the more I enjoyed it.
Oh, by far.
So Games Dean on Instagram said Jurassic Spark. I'm just gonna blow through these and just exhale sharply through your nose because they're not funny. They're just like, yeah, I get it.
I don't even think you mentioned the best part yet about how we posted this. I included in the post that we always do weekly on Instagram for the question of the week. So what I included in this post was the infamous meme face of that one dude that's laying back on his couch, just stoned off his fucking ass.
With zero chin.
Just the stupidest look on his face. He's for sure the guy that goes to Subway. When they ask him what he wants to order, he just stands there, can I get a get a meat long, foot long, please? One of those guys.
Foot long.
One of those guys.
TD Runner on Instagram said 101 rotations. I think this is the most creative because you say rotation and I don't immediately think weed, but in this context, it works. Sine Sabu says Harry Pot in parentheses, don't at me. I'm going to at you because that's super corny. Mad Squabbles, the never ending stoner. I appreciate this. I can just picture Falcor with glazed over red eyes.
Watch It Like commented The Parent Trap House.
I like that.
I enjoyed that one.
That's pretty good.
Because a lot of people will initially just think of names for the weed itself and not think of where the weed is coming from necessarily. Good one.
White Trash Betty sent us one. The Brave Little Toker. And this reminded me of one of my favorite cosplays I've ever seen of all time. At C2E2 2 years ago, a guy was dressed up as the human adult dad from Brave Little Toaster, and he was carrying a vacuum and a toaster and a lamp. It was awesome. And it was probably a huge pain in the ass for that guy because he's got to carry that shit around all weekend.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So terrible.
We had Mike Burling, who specifically told me, do not put the dot in between my name. Which
Shut up, Mike Burling.
Yeah, Mike Burling. Listen up. You had some pretty good ones. Space Dab, pretty good.
Can I stop you? I know that I'm old because I have no idea what a dab is. Mark, can you please explain this to me?
Okay, I might butcher this.
So you're old too?
Yeah, I'm pretty
Perfect. Old. I know that it has something to do with like smoking the hardened oil.
It's like smoking wax.
What the fuck, man?
Synthetic THC type wax, I think.
You know, back in my day, weed was enough.
Not anymore. But you're never really old enough to know what the dab truly means, which is the dance move where you're just dabbing on motherfuckers.
Stop it.
Okay, let me go on with Mike Burling, what he had. Space Dab, a pun off of Space Jam, I'm assuming. Hunchback of Token Dank. That's pretty fucking good,
Is this the corniest question we've ever had?
Oh, shit, dude. Princess of the Bong, dude? Oh, shit.
I don't get it.
Princess of the... I actually don't really get that either. Am I stoned right now, dude? Do you get it?
No, I just told you.
Let's just move on.
Okay.
Bud Air.
I said that one last week.
You said Air Bud though.
Yeah.
And then he said Bud Air would be a golden retriever that smokes weed. It's actually kind of fucked up. Isn't it fucked up to give your dog weed?
No, dude. Maybe they have like arthritis or something.
Yeah, maybe. The Grinch who stole leftovers from Thanksgiving, dude. The best time to smoke, dude, is Thanksgiving. Okay, final one. Where the wild weeds bought.
I like that one.
That's good.
Pulls on my nostalgia strings.
Oh, I didn't even read the whole Grinch title. It's The Grinch who stole Thanksgiving leftovers because he had the munchies, dude. It might be a little too long. I think I just liked it when you ended it at leftovers, but
I like the long-winded ones.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mike.Burling, thank you for commenting. Those were some pretty good ones.
And I will never leave that dot out.
I'll never not leave that dot off. God damn it, Mike.
One more. Specs 1086, Pocahontas. Not bad. We didn't even get a question for next week.
I got to call out Brick since he's not here. How about when we're thinking about the...
Just keep talking. I need more wine.
He talks shit primarily about you, Smithers, but still he talks shit usually when you're not on the podcast. Brick knew the whole concept is this was supposed to be directed at a children's movie, and you're supposed to make a pun based off of it being a stoner movie. So Brick comments on their own post, Gravity, parentheses, bong, starring Sandra Bullock. First of all, Brick, you'll miss the whole concept. It's supposed to be a children's movie. I don't think Gravity is a children's movie. I wouldn't put it in that genre.
In Brick's defense, he is still a child. So when that movie came out, it was a childhood movie for him.
True.
That's all I can say.
That's
That's nicer than anything he would have said to me when I wasn't on a show.
That is a pretty nice way to put it, though.
Suck my dick, you coward.
Shuck it, Brick.
All right, we don't have a question for next week yet, but we'll post it on Instagram, and we'll have a little extra time, so I don't know, short week, what do you want from me?
And by the way, you guys, thank you, because the engagement we've been getting on these has been pretty exciting. This is one of the things we look forward to the most every week is figuring out what stupid question of the week we're going to post on Instagram, because it seems like you guys are having fun with it, so thank you guys for all your submissions. We appreciate it.
You know what? Brick sent us one earlier. Why don't we just roll with this since we don't have anything else planned?
All right.
His question was, what is the most awkward movie that you've ever watched with your parents? I think that's pretty good because I can picture somebody our age watching American Pie and not knowing what was coming. Maybe even seeing it in the theater. I want to hear that. Your parents, your grandparents, your priest. I want to hear them.
I think for me, it was probably Titanic. Pretty sure I was sitting with my mom and possibly my grandma, and we were watching it maybe at my grandma's house. And right when they showed Rose posing there and her tits out, dude.
First boobs you ever seen, right?
Oh, shit. Yeah. I looked at my mom. I was like, what are those?
What was that, 1996?
When it came out?
Well, I guess when it came out on video, it would have been later than that. I'm gonna look that up.
Question. I'm gonna say 95.
1997.
97.
So definitely the first boobs you ever saw.
Yeah, for sure. And it was extremely awkward. When
and
you're
you
that
were just
young,
like, whammy!
When you're that young, your mom is usually there to cover your eyes, but she wasn't there to cover my eyes, and it was just.
If it's the first time she saw it, what's she
Mom?
gonna do? I think the first boobs I saw were in Christmas Vacation with Chevy Chase.
Oh yeah,
where he has the vision of building the pool.
Oh yeah.
Maybe it's Fast Times at Ridgemont High. I don't know. Doesn't matter.
Fast
Anyways,
Times.
Weird movies that you had to sit through with your parents that made it really awkward. Send us your submissions at the Chumpcast on all social media platforms or call or text us at 847-920-6107. Thank you.
And by the way, if you guys listened to our last week's episode, that guy that randomly called us, if you're listening, please call back in and answer this question, because we'd love to really hear your submission besides you just saying, coming back.
Damn it.
God damn it. But shout out to that guy.
So as we always do at the beginning of the new month, we're going to talk about a few new to streaming options. Mark, stop me when something tickles your fancy here.
Okay.
We always start with the leader, Netflix. Batman Begins, August 1st.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Yes.
Another DC movie, Constantine, starring Keanu Reeves. Now, this is one of the most polarizing comic book movies of all time. Either you love it or you hate it. I'm on the side of loving it. I will watch this at least 6 times in the next 2 months. I think this is a great movie. Even if you totally ignore the source, it's got Shia LaBeouf in it.
It's got Keanu Reeves, if you didn't mention that.
I did.
I know, but I got to say it again.
So if you haven't seen this, at least give it a shot.
And who is Constantine?
Keanu Reeves.
I'm just, for the listeners, who is Constantine? How does he fit into the DC universe?
I just figured you weren't listening to me again.
No.
John Constantine is kind of a magician in the DC universe. He's supposed to lead up the Dark Universe. What is it? What was DC going to call that?
The Dark Justice League? Or
Justice League Dark.
Justice League Dark. Yes.
They released an animated movie not that long ago. It was very mediocre. But check out the comic books. Definitely check out this movie. It's Keanu Reeves. We've never steered you wrong with Keanu Reeves.
I heard they were going to bring back Constantine and possibly... No, I think people were just throwing names out there, but I heard Ryan Gosling, and that I think would be a pretty good fit if Ryan Gosling ever decided to do a superhero movie.
We'd have to see how his Irish/Scottish/British accent was, but yeah,
true.
He could probably do it.
Yeah.
He could play the piano while he's at it. August 11th at Netflix, we're getting No Country for Old Men. Obviously a classic, Best Picture winner. The Disenchantment series that I've been rattling on about for the last 6 months from Matt Groening is coming to Netflix August 17th.
Do you know how many episodes it is?
I believe it is 10 30-minute episodes.
Oh, yes. Wait, stop there. You've probably mentioned this, but it's only a Netflix series, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
And we're getting season 2 of Ozark, the Jason Bateman crime drama thriller at the end of August. I don't know if I'm going to watch this yet.
You know what? This is, to me, it's one of the more overrated TV shows, but people love this show.
It got a lot of Emmy nominations.
The one thing that kind of gets me a little ticked off is when people try comparing it to Breaking Bad, which
not
is,
even close.
For me, I would probably call Breaking Bad the greatest television series of all time, or close to it. I don't know how Game of Thrones is going to end. Rick, shout out to you.
The difference between this and Game of Thrones
levity.
Is that what?
I would say levity.
Oh, I was going to say there are 0 likable characters in Ozark.
True.
In Breaking Bad, you can at least kind of see some people's viewpoints.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you don't agree with them making meth or whatever, you can still kind of understand what they're going for.
And you don't have Jesse Pinkman just saying, bitch!
Yeah,
bitch!
Science, bitch! All right, coming to Hulu. Have you ever seen Kazam?
Oh.
Speaking of Shaq. He's a genie. That's all you need to know. It's terrible, but it's so bad that it's good.
I saw it a long time ago. They used to play it on Disney Channel all the time.
And this led to Shaq video games on Sega Genesis. Do you ever play Shaq Fu?
No.
Oh my God. I'm going to get a copy of that somehow. I have a Sega Genesis. We can definitely play it.
Do it.
The Usual Suspects, probably a lot of people's favorite movie.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Diddlers. And Shaun of the Dead, which is probably one of my favorite movies, directed by Edgar Wright, starring Simon Pegg and Nick Frost. I love this movie. And I'll probably watch this 6 times in the next couple of months.
Yeah. The one thing I always wanted to know about Netflix is how they decide what movies they're going to be releasing every month.
This is Hulu. And my guess is that they have certain relationships with certain movie studios.
Okay.
Those studios look and see what's in their back catalog that maybe is slowing down in sales and needs another boost. A lot of times, let's see if we have an example this month. Well, okay, take this for example. Amazon is getting Watchmen, the movie.
Yep.
It'll probably be on there for a while, and we know that HBO is producing this series. So a lot of times, for example, Spawn just showed up on Hulu last month, I think. Spawn is in the news right now because they're remaking Spawn. So if they have something they want to produce or push that's an IP, they'll put that out there and say, hey, we'll run a special on this because it's basically not free promotion, but it's promotion for them.
Yep.
It's a lot of that stuff.
And it's also mainly based on what is circulating news-wise and popularity-wise in the pop culture world.
Or what's cheap.
True.
Coming to Amazon in August, Watchmen, August 1st, as I mentioned. And already, Darren Aronofsky's Half-Tank Mother! I
don't know what this is.
Was Jennifer Lawrence.
Ah.
This movie came out like 6 months ago in theaters. Apparently, it was one of the more disturbing movies. I heard the basis for it, and it sounds so dumb that I think I need to watch it just so I can see it for myself.
Who's in it besides Jennifer Lawrence?
Javier Bardem.
Yes.
Another callback.
I know what you're talking about.
No Country for Old Men.
Yes. I thought so. Okay. I know exactly what you're talking about. Cool. I'm going to actually watch that movie because I've heard the same. I heard it's actually a pretty scary thriller, whatever you want to call it.
I heard the allegory on which it is based and it made me angry, so I'm going to watch it out of anger.
Okay, good. That's
all right.
The majority of the movies you do watch is out of anger.
I know. We'll get to that later on. And finally, coming to HBO next month, 3 Billboards. Great. Oscar nom. Got a lot of... why is my brain turning off?
Got a lot of Oscar nominees.
It received many accolades.
Yes.
Jesus. Hard Knocks comes back August 8th. I can't wait. Even though it's the Cleveland Browns again. I don't even care.
Wait, who was it last season? Was it the Browns?
No. Texans?
Yeah, it was the Texans.
Maybe
J.J.
that was
Watt
2
was out.
years ago.
No, that was 2 years. You're right. Fuck.
Was the Bengals?
That's why we don't do sports, really.
No, because I've watched all of these. I just don't remember. It's been a year. I don't fucking remember. Anyways, Ballers comes back August 12th. Do you watch this?
I don't.
I've never seen it.
And a lot of my friends, they're the big Entourage guys, the big douche type guys that all they watch is Entourage. And they all watch this show besides Billions and what other kind of shows are in this genre.
Dude, Billions sucks.
I heard a lot of praise on Billions, and there's one more, not The Prophet. I can't think of it right now.
Billions is basically just Paul Giamatti, who might be my least favorite actor of all time, being bondage tortured by his wife, and I don't ever want to see that.
I've never watched Billions, and that's
finally coming to HBO next month. Darkest Hour, which was also nominated for Oscars. Very good movie, revolving around Winston Churchill and World War II, and Rick would probably do a better job of describing it than I am.
I think I'm going to go rewatch this movie because the week we were watching this movie, we also had to watch 6 or 7 other movies because we were
trying to cram in all of the Best Picture nominations, yes, which is never a good idea.
That was the Oscar podcast week where we had pledged to watch all the Oscar nominees, and for the most part, we did. I really enjoyed Darkest Hour.
We left out one. Phantom Thread.
Yeah.
And I assume that'll show up on HBO or Amazon soon.
Low-key, it's the best one. We just didn't
probably is.
It's obviously going to be better.
Daniel Day-Lewis.
But I'm going to go rewatch Darkest Hour because I feel like I would enjoy it a little bit more when I'm not super stressed out because I have 4 more of these movies to watch.
Okay. So that wraps up our new to streaming. Let us know if we missed anything. Now, we got a few new trailers this week, the biggest of which is the Venom trailer 2. And we're not going to belabor this because you can check our YouTube channel and there will be a very, very deep dive into this. But are you more or less excited for this movie following the second trailer?
More.
Is it just because he threatens to eat some people?
And he calls a guy a turd in the wind.
That was weird and
hilarious.
Pretty corny. We get a teaser for the Jungle Cruise movie because if a movie has the jungle in it, The Rock is absolutely going to show up.
He has to be there, bro.
So this is Emily Blunt and The Rock. I don't know. If you're John Krasinski, are you terrified that The Rock is just going to take your wife?
Or rock bottom you 2 stories below into the... I just lost my train of thought.
Okay.
Hold on, let me redo that.
We're struggling today.
Or just take you and rock bottom you into the cruise pool and then take a
He'll just rock bottom you into the Amazon because he's already in the jungle.
True.
We got a teaser trailer for Maniac on Netflix. So this is Jonah Hill and Emma Stone, and they sign up for this drug trial for differing reasons. Apparently, it will fix whatever mental ailment you have, regardless if you're depressed or just sad or schizophrenic or whatever. The results are quote unquote unexpected. 2 things. Jonah Hill is back to coked out, skinny Jonah Hill. And this is directed by Cary Fukunaga.
Cary what?
You would recognize that guy as the director of True Detective Season 1.
I'm glad he didn't say it's Season 2.
No, he did not do Season 2. He only did Season 1. He only stayed on as an EP for Season 2.
Got it.
That alone is enough to get some goodwill for this and get me to watch it.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, and last trailer, a teaser for Iron Fist Season 2. Mark, I know you're so excited for this. But basically, we finally see Danny Rand don what looks like his conventional costume with the top half of his head yellow mask. Just maybe.
He can finally use his fucking powers.
Netflix realized this was the only way that they could throw in a stunt double that could actually learn fight choreography.
Oh, God.
That's what they did for Daredevil and Charlie Cox.
Don't remind me of how shitty this choreography was in season 1.
Look, sue me, but I'm kind of excited for this.
Not if we're going to do a whole episode on the full season.
We're absolutely not.
And I'm going to have to knock off 7 episodes within a day. It's
for the record,
torture.
This will not be 13 episodes. Rumors are that's only going to be 10.
Still probably too many.
It is. Let's move on to the news. We really beat this into the ground last week, but all of the main actors from Guardians of the Galaxy released and signed this open letter to Disney and Marvel. They're publicly supporting the rehiring of James Gunn. For some reason, Vin Diesel also signed it, even though he has one line in 2 movies. But Disney, just do the right thing and hire him back. He said he was sorry a long time ago. All right, I'm not going to beat this into the ground anymore. I assume you saw this?
I saw it, yes.
Anything to say?
Not much. I mean,
okay.
They should obviously sign him back. Like, what are they doing at this moment? All these execs are sitting around the round table just with their hands crossed. No, we're not sending him back on because
that's
I
pretty much what it is. It's a bunch of old dudes that don't want to admit that they were wrong.
And they're completely wrong.
Yeah. Disney has announced that the upcoming Star Wars Episode 9 will, in fact, feature the late Carrie Fisher through the use of unseen footage from The Force Awakens. Episode 9 is reportedly slated to start filming later this week. How do you feel about this?
Numb.
Fair. I am of the belief that if they're just using unused footage and they're not going to try and CGI her into some weird, I don't know, monster body that doesn't look quite right, a la Henry Cavill in Justice League, it's fine.
This is going to be hard for me to say without sounding like an ass, but once somebody dies and they CGI the full face of the person, I always have been pretty good at being able to clearly identify, all right, that is 100% CGI. They actually did it in, was it Force Awakens? Or they did it in one of those where, who is one of the generals of...
Yeah, I know you're talking about. But wow, you're a real piece of shit, Mark.
That guy's CGI face wasn't that good. I have hopes that they'll do well with the Carrie Fisher CGI. I think they better for people, Star Wars fans.
I don't think they're going to. I think it's just going to be unused footage.
You think so?
That's what they said.
Okay.
I think they don't want to piss off that many. I mean, Star Wars fans' default position is pissed off because they're just mad about everything all the time, which sucks. But
well, if they do, when we're sitting in the theaters, because I'm going to make sure I get the same showtime as you to annoy the fuck out of you. But I'm hoping they're going to use most of previously shot footage and then maybe just throw in a little bit of the CGI face, and I'll just look over to you and just say, there it is, buddy.
All right, last piece of news, because we're on a short week here. The Duffer Brothers, writers, producers, directors of Stranger Things, have weighed in on why we won't see more until next summer. Apparently, it's because they want to make it, quote, longer and better.
Okay.
So if you quote that, you better not disappoint, right?
They better not fuck up.
You're almost certainly setting yourself up for failure.
Why didn't they just say longer?
I would have just said, we're trying to change the seasons.
Because if you just keep it to longer, you can't fucking fail. All you have to do is make it longer, and then you stuck to your word. But better, you better not fuck up.
The expectations for this are already through the roof.
Oh, you enjoyed the second season, didn't you?
I really did, yes.
Okay. Because I pretty much teared up at the very last scene when they're dancing. I thought that season, I would say it was better than the first. It was phenomenal.
I agree with you. A lot of people would disagree, but after the episode 8 debacle, a lot of people just wrote it off.
That is very much true, because I forgot Kai Green was in that episode, and that episode didn't even need to happen.
God damn it. I wrote an entire article on it. Shut up. That wraps up the news for this week, so...
Best.
We the best!
Worst.
The worst! She's the worst person in the world. Huge skank. Terrible, but thank you.
Best man alive. Before we even start this, I would be remiss if we didn't mention LeBron James.
Okay.
Because he opened a school in Akron for underprivileged kids, And it's a really great story. And anybody that goes through there and gets a 3.0 GPA is going to have their college paid for, and they all get bikes, and it's just like an amazing school. It's almost like we should be funding our schools more so they can do stuff like this, so that LeBron James, a pro basketball player, doesn't have to come in and do this. I digress.
Maybe if LeBron just takes a bunch of donations from people, he can make it happen. He'll just pledge.
That's exactly what he did.
Hey, here's a GoFundMe. This money is going to be sent to me, but ultimately what I'm going to do with it is open up a shit ton of these schools. Okay, cool. We'll just give a bunch of money to LeBron.
He just takes over for our Department of Education.
Hey, that wouldn't be a bad idea.
Yeah, I couldn't do any worse. All right, Mark, do you have a best man alive?
I do. It's actually a best team alive. This weekend, I went and watched the Overwatch League Championship at Emporium, which is, it's a bar that has...
Okay, go ahead.
So Emporium is a bar that has a bunch of arcade games, foosball, air hockey, that kind of stuff. But they were playing the Overwatch League Championships. And so I'm going to give my best team alive to the London Spitfire. They were the champions of the Overwatch League, and they were playing this all last weekend, I guess, for a couple of days. It was pretty interesting to watch. I played Overwatch for a short amount of time. Actually, Brick made me pretty much buy the game and play with them. But it's fun, and I enjoyed watching it. So shout out to those kids that are making a shit ton more money than I could probably ever dream of making by just playing video games. And then also I want to give a shout out to my best bud, TJ. He's DJing tomorrow. Actually, DJing before Shaq goes on at Prism Nightclub in Chicago. Yes, I said that correctly. Shaq is DJing tomorrow.
That's the weirdest sentence ever.
Shaq is getting on the turntables tomorrow and gonna fucking throw down, dude.
If he doesn't call himself DJ Shactus, he's doing it wrong.
True. But TJ, best man alive. Good luck tomorrow. Don't fuck it up. There's a lot riding on you right now. You got to pump up the crowd for Shaq. And if you don't let that happen, then
what a pep talk.
Oh my God. I'm never coming to see you ever again.
All right. I got another one here. The 3 people who tried to steal a gray horn shark named Miss Helen from the San Antonio Aquarium. Surveillance footage showed them grabbing this shark out of a tank, wrapping it in a wet blanket, and putting it in a stroller, and trying to walk out of this aquarium with it. Apparently, this shark is worth about $2,000. They did not get very far. Who steals a shark? What are you to do with it?
I love sharks. I would think about it. I probably wouldn't go through with it, but I would think about it.
To have obviously, this is their great caper. They've been planning forever. They got a stroller. And they're like, we have to put it in a wet blanket, and we have X amount of time before we can put it in a tank before it dies, and blah, 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 blah. For $2,000 shark.
God.
And now you're all going to jail. So I don't know what you're thinking here. One last.
Wait, how badass did that shark look though?
I don't think it was that big. I think it was a tiny shark. Oh. I mean, if you're going to put it in a stroller, how big could it have been?
Oh, God.
It's not like a great white shark that they're going to haul out of there.
Can you ride the goddamn shark? If you can't ride it, what do you need it for? Oh my God. Stupid.
Attach a freaking laser beam. And Mark, I have one other worst man alive that you might be able to weigh in on.
Okay.
And that is Mitch Lowe, the CEO of MoviePass.
Oh my, don't get me started right now.
So I don't know if you got this email. I got it about a half an hour ago. Basically, he's saying, first and foremost, I want to personally apologize to each of you for the inconsistencies and unreliability of our service over the past few days.
No shit, you fuckhead.
I regret our lack of communication, yada, yada, yada. We've been making changes, blah, blah, blah. All this to say, next month, they're increasing their price to $15 a month from $10.
Okay.
It's going up by 50%. They're drastically reducing the number of movies for which users can buy tickets. Any movie over 1,000 screens released nationwide, not worldwide, will not be supported by MoviePass, which is basically every movie that's not an indie movie. And they're trying to brand this as, oh, well, we're just trying to bring indie movies to the people. No, you fucked your company up. You did this wrong. You invested in movies like Gotti, and now you're tanking, and your stock went from $14 to under $1. And now you're boned. And I'm going to cancel my card immediately. And thank God I didn't pay for a full year up front.
Fuck you, because I did.
I know you did.
All right. I'm going to somehow get my money. I've already gotten my money's worth, so I'm not that mad because I looked the other day at my history. I've seen 14 movies with this shit, and I paid, I think, 80 or 90 bucks for it. So definitely got my money back. It's still shitty as fuck that this is happening and that they're doing it in this way and trying to apologize with, oh, we're sorry, guys, for being so inconsistent and effing you all in the A these last couple days.
No, you lied. You lied to us about what was going on.
And blatantly lying, yes. But then coming back and saying, oh, and by the way, just because we're that sorry, we're going to go ahead and up the price $5 per month and then not allow you to see any fucking movie.
Yeah. So there's a couple other services out there that I'm looking into. I don't want to do AMC because it's really hard to get to their theaters in Chicago if you don't live downtown. I don't know. I don't know what the fuck I'm going to do. I don't want to go back to paying $15 a movie yet. This sucks. But fuck you, Mitch Lowe.
Yeah, and I'm looking... Okay, and the app doesn't even make sense anymore. I am looking at your theater right next to you, which is a Regal. And, okay, of course there's no movie showing because their app is probably still down and fucked up. But this is what it says on the screen. There are no more screenings at this not at this time. Whoever's fucking running this app is
no one
probably going to be acting in that stoner movie we've been talking about. They just need to just shut this whole shit down because this is ridiculous. Very unprofessional. Fuck you, Movie Pass. I'm so fucking mad right now.
Mark, let me drastically improve your mood by talking a movie that I know that you loved. Extinction on Netflix.
Hold on.
Mark is still on a fucking tirade trying to get this app to work. Dude, it's done. Just give up. You're not going to get any of your money back. You're fucked. Are you really going to do this right now?
Sorry. I wasn't paying attention.
You're so mad.
I'm so mad. Oh my God.
All right. Extinction. First of all, woof. 14% on Rotten Tomatoes. 54% from fans. Not a ton of reaction on Rotten Tomatoes. I wanted to get a broader scope of what I was getting here. So I checked IMDb and over 10,000 reviews. The average is 5.9. So not as terrible as Rotten Tomatoes wants you to think. It's directed by a guy named Ben Young that no one has ever heard of and written by Eric Heiserer.
What were you thinking, Eric Heiserer?
He wrote Arrival, which was critically acclaimed. And also, if I remember correctly, neither of us liked either.
Arrival was by far better than this one. I'll say that.
Well, that's not saying much, but we'll get to that. So, Extinction. Michael Pena stars as a guy who is having these recurring dreams, nightmares, I guess, about an alien invasion. So nobody believes him, including his shitty wife, Janice Ian, Lizzy Caplan. Mm-hmm. Janice Ian was the Mean Girls character. And he has an all-time I fucking told you moment when spaceships show up and start blasting shit. So Michael Pena has to get his wife and their 2 kids to this underground facility while battling stupid-looking aliens in dumbass suits.
While their kids are crying and screaming and making the stupidest kid decisions on the face of the earth that makes me never want to have a child.
His kids are just trying to get them murdered the entire time. It's like they just don't want to live. I think it's like maybe they're Scientologists like Tom Cruise and they're just trying to get out of Scientology.
Maybe.
I stick by that theory.
That might be the case.
So this movie had a weird production cycle in that it was originally slated to be released theatrically by Universal Pictures. Presumably, they tested it, got a shitty response, and then decided they could sell it to Netflix for a reported $50 million. Not bad. I'm sure they recouped some of the loss and also saved a ton of money on the advertising. But is this the new version of straight-to-DVD movies? Just sell it to Netflix?
That's a good question.
They announced this right on the heels of the Cloverfield paradox.
Yeah.
So it kind of seemed at this, you're getting shitty alien movies, not that great. Studios give up on them.
Here's the thing. I remember us talking about this when they started doing more of these movies, like, what's the one with the monsters who are all the prejudice in society with the monsters and the elves and all that shit.
What?
And you have like Logic and Kendrick Lamar
rapping. Bright.
Bright. So when Bright came out, I remember we did an episode and we're talking, basically saying, is what Netflix trying to do here? Are they just trying to get rid of the whole movie theater experience? And if they continue putting out these kind of movies, nobody's going to have to worry about that, because I would never say that these movies that they've came out with so far are movie theater quality, box office type movies that they should be showing in a movie theater, because I was just not impressed with this at all.
So Bright was a little bit of a different story because they actually produced that themselves. Both Cloverfield and Extinction were just purchased from other studios.
Oh, I did not know that.
So I don't know what's happening here.
Well, why are they purchasing these movies?
Well, they did the same thing with Annihilation, which by all accounts, everything that I've read was a good movie. Now, in the US, that movie was still theatrically released, but apparently outside of North America, Netflix had all of the release rights, so they just put it out on their streaming service. So maybe not all of them will be bad. I don't know. Somebody's got to be making these decisions, and obviously, Netflix knows what they're doing. They're not MoviePass. They're not making shitty decisions and backing terrible movies that nobody watches. They can measure what this is worth in terms of subscribers.
Do you think that Netflix, because they're Netflix, ever since they've been putting out these movies, I was seeing a lot of reviews saying how not that bad this movie was for a sci-fi movie, and I completely disagree.
Yeah.
And let's just say these were pretty popular movie websites, or just websites in general, were doing articles. Like GQ did an article about this movie.
I don't trust GQ for anything.
I know, but still, do you think because it's Netflix that their movies are going to be praised a little bit more than the movies we're getting in the actual theaters?
I can tell you that I will rate this movie higher because I could watch it from my bed.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that's worth in terms of monetary compensation, but it's good for something. I don't know.
Yeah.
The fact that I was already paying for Netflix and didn't have to pay any extra for this. If I had seen this in a theater, I would have been pissed.
So mad. And then in the articles, people were saying, oh, well, you didn't get the same experience because it wasn't shown in a theater.
No.
Like, it would have been any better.
It would have been worse in a theater because it's a bigger screen with an HD 4K projector. And all of the shots in this movie look bad. The dialogue sounds bad. It would have been worse. And I would have spent $15 to go see it. No, that would have sucked.
Well, it wouldn't have been as bad if it was in theaters and you could movie pass it, but that's not going to exist anymore.
Well,
movie pass.
Fuck you, Mark. Do you have anything nice to say about this movie at all?
I really don't. I was laughing throughout most of the movie because the dialogue was so horrendous. You have Michael Pena, and he doesn't say one funny thing throughout the whole goddamn movie.
There's
one
not
funny
one
thing.
smart-ass quip, nothing.
Nothing. He's just having his flashbacks, saying, I told you so, freaking out, trying not to strangle his two daughters who are screaming at the top of their lungs the whole movie.
Oh, that was terrible.
I don't really have anything good to say about this movie. And are we going to do a spoiler review of this?
We're going to spoil it just because it sucks.
You have to spoil it because
we will mark it in the show notes,
okay,
just in case you want to watch this and, form your own opinion. If I had to say one nice thing about this, the concept is seemingly great if you get the 1,000 foot view and you don't actually watch this movie. And the twist should have made me feel literally anything as opposed to the blank emptiness that I did feel. I assume that you didn't see the twist coming, but that doesn't mean it was a good one.
Yeah, I didn't see the twist coming. And frankly, like you, I could care less. I didn't know how to feel. I actually felt one way more than I did the other way, but we'll get to that once we spoil it.
All right. Was the acting any good?
Acting was bad.
Was it because the acting was bad or just the script was bad?
The acting was bad because the script was bad. I don't think Michael Pena, his acting was pretty terrible towards the end, but that is because the whole writing and the whole script was absolutely god awful.
I feel like everybody kind of just phoned it in. The guy that had the best performance was Luke Cage himself, Mike Coulter.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Everybody else just kind of like going through the motions.
Even the running away from things. There were scenes where they're trying to get away.
Jog.
And they're jogging.
Yeah.
I'm like, first of all, you have a little gash in your stomach. I would be full out sprinting if my life was on the line. When your adrenaline's pumping like that, come on.
Didn't that look just like a scratch?
Yes. I don't know. Let's get into it.
What about the aliens?
So stupid. Let's
give a shit or no?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I did for 10 minutes until I realized how stupid this movie was going to be. And then I could give two shits.
Was the CGI or the special effects at least any good?
The CGI towards the end was one of the worst ending scenes I've ever seen in any single movie.
It was pretty bad. All right, Mark. Rate it out of 10.
I'm going to give this a 4.5 out of 10.
I'm going to give it a 5 just for the aforementioned twist.
A 5.
Come on. It was on Netflix. If I had to go see this in a theater, it'd be a 3.
It probably would be a 2 for me.
So spoilers from here on out. I'll mark it in the show notes. If you want to see this train wreck of a movie, come back and listen to this. I assume we'll have something derogatory to say about it. So this shit was dumb, right?
So stupid.
Why the hell would these humans be wearing those silly ass frog suits that make them look like aliens?
Wait, so you can't jump to that. You gotta spoil the thing. What is the twist?
Midway through, in the second act, you realize that the quote-unquote aliens are actually humans that are wearing these dumbass suits for some reason.
Making them look like aliens, yes.
And that the people, quote-unquote, Michael Pena, his wife, his kids, are actually android humanoids.
Synthetics.
Sure, they call them synths, for no apparent reason. If you were storyboarding this, it's not a terrible idea.
And that you were for sure all stoned off your ass, but yes.
I wasn't when I watched this, but still, it's not the worst idea I've ever heard. But why? What motivation do these humans who have been living on Mars have to dress up like weird alien frog people before they come back to fight these synths?
I don't know. Because they were living on Mars and they just got
I will tell you why.
Why?
Because it was an obvious misdirect and a bad one.
Okay. You needed that in this movie. Because
no, you didn't. What you needed was this movie to be a half an hour shorter.
Yes, but still, you needed some type of twist, even though the twist could have been good, but it was just terrible because there was some unnecessary shit like these alien suits, but you needed them to look like aliens for the twist to even happen in the first place.
Do you care at all or even sympathize in the slightest with the fact that these our main characters are androids?
Oh, I could give two shits. Once I realized humans were trying to retake over the Earth, or at least just get some supplies to continue living, I really could care less about the synthetics and them not dying.
Your allegiance is immediately changed.
Allegiance is out the window.
Okay.
I don't give a shit. These are still machines. Okay, now they feel, and we were the ones that created them. Don't you see the irony in that? You're such an asshole. No. Humans need to survive. I'm not going to go to the other team, which is fucking something we created. Absolutely not. I don't care. No emotion. That's where it lost me with this.
So I've got a question about this, because the reason most of the synths don't know that they're synths is because they had their memories erased of being, an enslaved race, I guess. We see this alien invader say that his grandparents were the ones that had to leave Earth. Michael Pena and his wife, Lizzy Caplan, are, quote unquote, raising these kids that don't ever get any older.
Yeah.
And their friends are presumably, quote unquote, having kids, but they're not really, because they can't, because they're androids. So you've had these kids that have been kids for 50 years, and you don't think anything's up? What the fuck is happening in this movie?
There's a lot of motherfucking plot holes in this stupid ass movie.
How bad was the Michael Pena monologue at the end of this movie?
Oh, I just turned not my brain off, I turned my ears off. I walked away from the screen and started doing, I was like getting a snack, opening up the fridge, just looking in the fridge for cheese or string cheese or some shit to eat, because I was so done with this movie. And by the way, can I just retract a minute to what I previously said? There's been some either shows or movies that have a similar concept like this, where you want to feel bad for the AI, the robots, whatever. And it's worked. Let's take Westworld, for example.
Sure.
I feel bad for them being created and being treated like shit, and you have an emotional attachment to them. So I'm not saying that because these synthetics weren't human, that I'm automatically for humans, go humans, destroy, murder everyone. No. But the way they did it, they set it up to where you don't care. You don't have enough
give
background.
a shit about these synths. All
you're getting is Michael Pena's flashbacks of them getting murdered when you actually don't even know if that really happened in the past. You finally realize at the end that those flashbacks were real and it's because his mind was getting erased, whatever. But they don't set you up to feel bad once they do the twist and let you know that, oh, these are actually robots and they were getting murdered. They don't make you feel bad for them. That was my main problem with it.
Yeah, this was just poor execution all around. I feel like if you gave this to a good director and maybe had some rewrites, it had some promise. But yeah, they set this up for a sequel that's never going to happen. I mean, maybe they cut the budget to like $20 million and make it just because it's Netflix and they have the cash. But I would like that 90 minutes of my life back.
And I was going to go a little easy on it because I thought it was a Netflix produced show. And it's not, or
nope.
Netflix produced movie, and it's
Universal.
Not. Oh, why are you buying this shit? And
fuck you, Comcast.
Jesus.
You know what? Netflix, I'm telling you, they know what they're doing. They, I'm sure, are going to be able to market this and turn it somehow into profits for their shareholders. I don't get it, but they keep doing it.
What was the one scene in this movie where your eyes were rolling to the back of your head so much that you thought they were just going to pop out because it was so over the top and ridiculous?
When the frogman took his mask off and revealed that he was human.
Okay.
Those suits were so fucking stupid. Why would you wear that?
I don't know.
It's like you're trying to look like a lizard person.
He was kind of walking like a lizard person too. He's walking all funny.
I was so mad, man. All right, what was your moment?
The very last scene where they get on this train and they're cruising over the railroad tracks, over the water or over the ocean or whatever. And as they're going off into the distance, the railroad behind the train is just collapsing into the water for some reason. Are we supposed to just assume that now they have to go to a different area of Earth to be safe? Like what is
I think they're going into hiding.
Okay, they're going into hiding. But once they get into the mountains or the land or wherever they're going, there's a scene where I don't know if it's smoke or mist off the ocean, but it's the worst CGI shit I've ever seen. You put me in Adobe After Effects and you tell me I need this scene to happen. You just need mist to come off lightly off of the ocean. I could put something way better together than this shit that they scrounged up at the end.
Well, you couldn't have done any worse.
It was bad. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
it was like dirt. Like it was
dirt
like they blew up the hole that they.
Okay. Yes. All right.
Yeah,
I don't remember because I wasn't paying attention.
But it was fucking terrible.
Oh.
Let's stop talking about this piece of shit movie.
Okay. Good idea.
Okay. So, Mark, let's get into our recommendations for the week so I can go to bed. I've been watching a couple of things on Hulu, and one was season 4 of You're the Worst. And this is a TV show that I've mentioned before in the past. It basically follows the love life of 2 horrible shitbag people. And they're in love with each other, but they treat each other like shit. And they love each other most of the time, but then also they do horrible things. And it's just really funny. And Eric and I loved watching this together. The really sad part, though, is that I see a lot of the cynicism from the main character, Jimmy, and myself. And that makes me feel terrible.
I'll go maybe not watch this after that recommendation.
No, it's hilarious. You should absolutely watch it.
Okay, I will.
It's a comedy. It's on FX. I think it actually originally aired on FXX.
Okay. If I have time. I honestly don't know how you have time to watch all these shows. I feel like you're watching a new show every week.
I do a lot of it, like, as I'm working, I have something on in the background. Just because I can't work in silence. It drives me insane.
Okay.
So I don't pay attention to half of it, but yeah.
Do you ever feel like because you're watching it in the background, you're not fully paying attention, and then halfway through the season, you're like, wait, I should probably rewatch some of these episodes?
So I can do that for my second recommendation, which is Dragon Ball Super, because it's not ridiculously substantive. It's a lot of yelling, and if someone yells loud enough, I know, oh, I should be paying attention right now.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's like I couldn't watch Westworld while I work. That wouldn't happen.
Gotcha. I need to finish Dragon Ball Super, by the way, but
I'm fully caught up, and it is so ridiculous. I love it.
Okay. Now I really need to watch it. All right. So my recommendation is actually a comic book we have previously reviewed on one of our episodes, I think like a year and a half ago. It just wrapped up its final issue, and the series I'm talking about is Descender. It's drawn by Dustin Nguyen, who does some awesome artwork, and he does some watercoloring, which is out of this world. And it's written by a well-known author, Jeff Lemire. If you read comic
We actually
books.
got to meet and talk to Dustin Nguyen at C2E2 last year, not this year,
Yes.
about the upcoming Sony movie adaptation of Descender.
Oh, if they go through with this, I can't wait. If they do a movie.
It's in production, so I don't know. I guess we'll see.
And I know the teaser for that will just randomly drop one day and we won't be expecting it. And I'll be like, no way, Descender. Let's go.
God. I will lose my goddamn mind.
But anyways, I just finished the series up. This book is amazing. I definitely recommend going to buy it. They have a pretty sweet, like hardcover bound book that is basically all of the issues in one. I know they have a couple hardcovers out there, which look pretty sweet if you want to just read the whole series and get it out of the way. I think there's like 2 or 3 books, but overall, this comic book series will blow you away. Art, like I mentioned, the storyline, it's one of my favorites of the last year and a half that I've been reading. And Dustin Nguyen also posted something on Instagram announcing that there's going to be another series following up. I don't know if it's prelude to this or if it's following up afterwards. It's called Ascender, not Descender. We'll see how that is.
A follow-up, right?
I guess. But I'm excited for that. So if you're into comics, definitely go check out Descender and read it.
All right, that's going to wrap up episode 103 of the Chumpcast. As always, you can find us on all social media at the Chumpcast, or call or text us at 847-920-6107. Keep an eye out for our Venom Things You May Have Missed video on YouTube. I nerded out pretty hard.
Yes, you did.
I'm not super proud of it, but I'm also super proud of it.
Oh, yeah. Why wouldn't you be? That trailer was amazing. Okay, well, that's all we have, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Until next time, chumps out, motherfucker.